Hi, today I want to speak about chords, how to play them, different ways of cutting them, and different speeds of cutting them, and what we can do with the left hand to make them sound nice. So before I start, please, if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that button, and spread the knowledge and the love to all the people who are looking for knowledge about violin playing. Now, even if you're just beginning to play the violin and you want to play chords, it's actually quite easy. What you need to do is play two strings, one at a time. Let's say D and A. Stop. Change your angles to an A and E. And keep on playing. Change the angle. Usually with the arm. It's an arm movement, but sometimes can also be, if it's fast, it's a wrist movement, and it's too complicated to get into it. We'll talk about it later. Right now it's slow, so use the arm. Add a note, even one note. I call this chord 2 plus 2 because I take two notes and then I took two more notes and I get them together. You can also cut the chord 1 plus 2, bass by itself. Weather is crazy, my strings are all changing, but then play the bass by itself and then two more notes. Three together, I will show how to do in a different video. It's just there's too much to talk about, so put that aside or look for that video when it comes. I also touched that in videos that I've done before, but this is just a separate video. You can also completely separate by basically arcing your arm with the strings, and one of my favorite is to arc and stay on the last double stop and vibrate. So that's a way of playing very slow chords with vibrato. So those are different ways of cutting the chords. There are a few more, but those are the main ones. And what I suggest you will do is just take a bunch of chords from any book that is dealing with chords. It could be a Shevchik, or it could be anything that is like usually a fifth year or fourth year or that deals with chords, and just start very slowly to cut them 2 plus 2 with stopping, and then without stopping, and then 1 plus 2, and then just arcing around, and just making sure that you are getting familiar with all the ways of playing the chords while still doing this with as less stress as possible, because that's one of the problems that we have. Once we play more than one note at a time, we get stressed, we start to fight it, we start to push against it, and it either becomes very tense or very scratchy or both. So just relax. It's a good suggestion for life anyway. Relax, it's okay. So the next thing is, of course, how fast we're going to play this chord. So we can play a 2x2 chord, and I'm cutting it exactly in the middle. But if I want to emphasize the top more than the bottom, then maybe I can just change the balance. Or just playing the same chords in different speeds of cutting and different ways of cutting, change them completely. And this is very important, especially for advanced students who are playing Bach, because we get stuck on those chords, trying to play all those chords in the same way, in the same time, the same. And actually, this is a great tool for musicality and self-expression, taking each chord and figuring out what is important, the bass line or the top line, or is it actually absolutely the same? Do you want to bring out an inner voice? We can do all that with the way we cut and the speed that we cut the chord. So if we go back to the first exercise that you took, the bunch of chords played after, played from a book, then try to play cutting it in different speeds. Now, this is really also important for the left hand, because if you're playing very strong and like in one stroke or very, very quick stroke, then all the fingers should actually be touching the strings all the time. Yeah? Or if I'm playing a one stroke of a 3-part chord, so all notes should be played. I should all the time have all the notes being pressed. But most of the time, really, we don't do that. We shouldn't even do that. If I have let go of the fingers once you're not playing them. Don't keep them touching and pressing and stopping you from vibrating in the end of the chord. So in order to do that, I would actually practice That's actually a very good example of how you can do it so differently, but just cutting it in different speeds and angles. I can do it playing exactly. Then I can change the angle by playing the sopran much more. And then releasing my fingers as I play in order to vibrate. Or I can do it very, very fast and give much more gaps in between them. Or I can even start by putting lots of gaps and then ending slower. Showing a certain, almost a mini resolution. So you see the way I cut the chords is very, very, is varied and makes a huge impact on the output, the musical output. So this is about how to use the left hand. As a rule of thumb, unless it's very, very fast or very aggressive, you do vibrate the end of the chord after you played it. That means you let go of all the fingers that are not currently playing, even if you played them before. So if I start with the bass, I let go of those second finger. I don't keep it. Even if I can vibrate, that actually tenses my hand very much. So this is for the left hand, and it's as important as the right hand. So if we go back to the first exercise, and we do it now in various speeds, and then you also should add vibrato in the end of the chord, or emphasizing the bass. I don't play it this way, but why not use it as an exercise? Because sometimes you will have to emphasize the bass. And this is basically how I would practice my chords, developing my chords, having ease of playing chords up and down. Now, a very important issue is whether you started from the string or from the air. If I have, obviously I'm using the landing in order to get, but I can also do it from the string. And basically, I think it's usually safer, sound-wise, to play from the string than to play from the air. You actually play many more times from the strings. You know, playing the beginning of the dreaded beginning of the G minor. I see so many people starting it, like, you know, taking the bow very slowly, then starting to kind of shake because it's very, you know, the bow is heavy, and then it kind of like, or they try to land, like they're like, if you hear that, it's like it's never smooth landing. Put it on the string, got it. So unless it's absolutely demanding that you should be playing it very aggressively, you should actually play most chords from an angle on the string that you decide and absolutely can control. Okay, so if I don't, because you hear that beginning, like even an automatic pilot, that once the plane comes down, you feel the goof of the landing. That's so basically I try to, as much as possible, land and then as I touch and then move, and that's a different timing than counting from the air and putting it down. So I think we covered a lot of stuff today, so I think you should go and practice your chords and come back with more questions. And thank you very much for all the response that I'm getting, and it gives me a lot of strength to continue and put out those videos. So good luck, let me know how it went. Bye.